March 19, 2026, a day that will remain a scar of pain forever in the hearts of martial arts lovers. At the age of 86, on the peaceful shores of Hawaii by the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by his loved ones, a living legend, Chuck Norris, breathed his last. He was not just an actor or a martial artist. He was a symbol of strength, courage, discipline, and indomitable willpower. His presence itself felt like a name of unshakable confidence, where fear surrenders and the word impossible loses its meaning. Just a few days before his death, he wrote, "I don't grow old, I level up." This one sentence reflects his entire philosophy of life. Age was never a limitation for him. Rather, every year was a step toward a new height. Until his final moments, he remained the same unstoppable, unbreakable man. His departure is not just the loss of a star. It feels like the end of an era. Every movie, every fight, every dialogue of his inspired courage and confidence in millions of people. Today, that voice is silent. That presence is gone. But his impact? That can never fade away. Chuck Norris may not be among us today, but he is not gone. He will live on in every inspiration, every brave step, every fight where someone refuses to give up. A void has been created, one that can never truly be filled. Yet his life teaches us that there is no such thing as an ending, only the story of reaching a new level. Respect, love, and a tearful farewell to a true legend. Born in 1940 in Oklahoma, Carlos Ray Norris, whom the world knows today as Chuck Norris, did not have a heroic beginning to his story. Rather, it was a silent battle against darkness, brokenness, and fear. After being missing during World War II, when his father returned, he was no longer the same man. The wounds within him turned into addiction and uncontrolled anger. For the family, he became a source of fear instead of safety. To young Chuck, home became a maze of uncertainty and fear. Poverty was their constant companion. Survival itself was the biggest battle. Shy and introverted, Chuck sought escape from real-life darkness in movies, where he found courage in cowboy characters. That world of imagination slowly planted the seed of a warrior within him. One day, at just 14 years old, fear and endurance reached their limit. To protect his mother, he stood in front of his father, with a hammer in his hand. This was not just resistance, it was the first time he challenged his own fear. In that moment, the future unstoppable man was born. 1958, a turning point in life. When Chuck Norris joined the United States Air Force and was posted to South Korea, no one knew that this decision would completely change his destiny. In a foreign land, in a new environment, he rediscovered himself. And in that journey, he first encountered the world of martial arts, which later became the foundation of his identity. He began rigorous training in Tang Soo Do. It was not just a fighting technique. It was a deep practice of mental strength, self-control, and confidence. With every drop of sweat, every strike, he was building an unbreakable personality, one that recognizes fear, but never gives it space. The struggle did not stop, it transformed into success. From 1968 to 1974, for 6 consecutive years, he was the world middleweight karate champion. Each victory proved his indomitable spirit. In every match, he defeated not only his opponents, but also his own limitations. During this journey, he formed an extraordinary friendship with Bruce Lee. This bond became history in the movie Way of the Dragon. Their fight was not just a scene. It became one of the most unforgettable moments in martial arts history, still thrilling audiences today. The 1970s and 80s, an era when Chuck Norris became not only a screen hero, but a symbol of unstoppable strength in people's imagination. His presence meant justice would prevail, evil would fall, and the hero would stand firm. Missing in action, the Delta Force, and Code of Silence did not just make him popular, they established him as one of America's greatest action icons. His intense gaze and controlled strikes convinced audiences. This man never loses. Then from 1993 to 2001, a new chapter began on television. Through Walker, Texas Ranger, he reached every household. He became not just an actor, but a symbol of morality, courage, and justice. But the greatest battle of his life was fought off-screen. In 1970, during the Vietnam War, he lost his younger brother, Norris. This loss deeply shook him. It was a wound that no fight could heal. Even as a warrior, he was helpless in front of this grief. This loss changed him from within, making him more sensitive, more human. In 2013, darkness fell upon his wife, Gina O'Kelly's life. Due to complications from an MRI injection, she became severely ill. At that moment, Chuck Norris was no longer a movie hero. He was a husband, a partner, a silent guardian. He set aside his career, the very career that gave him fame, wealth, and honor, and stood beside his wife. For years, he cared for her, supported her through every painful moment. He spent millions of dollars on her treatment. But more valuable than money was his time, his presence, his unwavering love. There were no cameras, no applause, only one man's promise. As long as you fight, I am here. This sacrifice redefined him. He was no longer just an action hero. He became an ideal husband, a devoted human being who showed how deep true love can be. His net worth was around $70–90 million. But this number never defined him. Instead, he chose to spread that wealth as light in people's lives. His foundation, Kickstart Kids, was one of his closest passions. Through martial arts, it taught discipline, confidence, and moral values, not just as a program, but as a mission to build the future. He changed the lives of over 100,000 underprivileged children. Those who might have been lost found direction and self-belief. He left his wealth for his family and these humanitarian efforts because he knew money can end. But the right guidance, inspiration, and opportunity can change a life forever. Chuck Norris was not just a wealthy man. He was a giver, a guide. His legacy is not just in bank accounts, but in dreams, confidence, and new beginnings of thousands of young lives. He was not just a master of martial arts. He was a symbol of patience, discipline, and love. Through every struggle, he taught us, victory is not just defeating others, but overcoming yourself. His death marks the end of an era. It feels like the story of an unstoppable force has suddenly paused. But the truth is, people like him never disappear. They live on in their work, their ideals, and in the inspiration of millions. Even today, when someone refuses to give up, when someone conquers their inner fear and moves forward, Chuck Norris lives there. He taught us, strength is not just about fighting, strength is about never giving up. So friends, share your thoughts about Chuck Norris in the comments. And subscribe now, because stories of legends like this are something you'll always want to hear again.